Hello jugglers, Steve here. I have had a request to do a tutorial video about blind juggling. Now obviously blind juggling is juggling with your eyes closed or juggling without looking at the pattern or the props or your hands. Now there's different ways to go about doing this. I'm going to show you 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 exciting ways to juggle without looking. Now the first and easiest way to do this is to bounce the balls off of your chest. Once you get comfortable with this, you can feel the balls hitting your chest and you catch them against your body. So it's quite easy to look away or close your eyes while you're doing this. How you can go about learning this is get a very, very small, fast reverse cascade going and then lean back and slowly bring the pattern against your chest. Here's what that would look like from the side view. A very fast, low reverse cascade. Lean back a little and bring the balls in towards your chest. A couple things to think about when you're working on this pattern. Each throw is thrown at your body and it's going to hit your chest and roll down and you're going to catch it against your body. So that would look like this. Alright, and now normally when you're juggling most juggling patterns, there's a lot of, your arms are in this position and there's a lot of lower arm movement, okay, to keep your pattern going. However, this particular method of off the chest juggling, your arms are going to be more, instead of like this, more in a higher position and sucked in against your chest, and there's very little upper or lower arm movement involved. It's pretty much all in the wrists. Alright, now I say that this is the easiest method of blind juggling, in my opinion. However, for you female jugglers, this might be a little bit more difficult depending on how big... Okay, moving right along. The next method of blind juggling I'm going to show you is probably the more classic method of blind juggling because it's juggling a normal juggling pattern but with your eyes closed. So there's no catching against the body involved in this method. Now, there's a couple ways you can go about learning to do this with your eyes closed. First, I would suggest warming up the basic pattern and really focus on making every single throw the exact same height, having a very solid, even pattern, and making every single throw land in the exact same spot. Now, once you have warmed up with that, I would suggest juggling this pattern and slowly looking up away from the pattern until you're looking straight up. Now I can still see the peak of each throw, but I think this is good practice because even though you can still see the top of the pattern in your peripheral vision, you're adjusting yourself to keep the pattern going without seeing the entire pattern. And then of course once you're comfortable doing that, the next step would to be juggle 3 balls and then slowly close your eyes and continue juggling. Now, some people might think it's a good idea to go through the steps that you learned when you first learned 3 balls, but with your eyes closed. So that would be juggling 1 ball with your eyes closed, and then of course juggling the 2-ball exchange with your eyes closed. I did not bother wasting my time doing that when I learned how to juggle with my eyes closed because really you don't want to get good at just throwing 1 ball back and forth and focusing on that 1 catch or the 2-ball exchange with your eyes closed. I think it's important to really just get totally solid with this pattern and then gradually take out the vision aspect of what you're doing. And now the most important thing in learning how to do this is to visualize the flight path of each balls once you close your eyes. So when you have this pattern going and then you close your eyes, you really have to pretend that your eyes are still open, and instead of your eyes creating this image of what's happening for your mind, you have to just use your mind to create that same image. So pretend your eyes are still open and just try to trick your mind into thinking that you're still seeing the pattern. Really visualize every throw, every catch, and every single flight path. And that should hopefully help. Okay, the third method of blind juggling that I'd like to show you is probably the coolest way to do it. Now this is the blind behind the back cascade. Now, there's a couple different ways to go about learning this. One way is to just learn the same way that you learned 3 balls regular and start with 1, back and forth, and then of course the 2-ball exchange, and then try for the 3-ball flash, and then once you're comfortable with the flash, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then try to add 1 throw at a time and build up the pattern from there. Couple things to notice about, well, the way I juggle this pattern. Technically there's no right or wrong way to do it, so if you want to do it with your elbows bent and with the balls against the small of your back, that's fine. However, I prefer to do it with my arms pretty much all the way straight, hands against my butt, and my arms against my body. So now each throw is actually hitting the crevice created by my arm touching my body. And it hits my arm and my back and rolls down right into my hand. Now, one very important thing that you should know is this is much easier with Russian style balls. It's possible to learn with beanbags or stage balls or whatever, but it's a lot easier with Russian balls. I'll put some links in the info box about how you can make them or where you can buy them. And also another thing to notice is that when I'm doing this, there's very little arm movement. It's pretty much all in my wrists. Now, the way that I actually learned how to do this is with my elbows bent and the balls against the small of my back, and I started just doing this, throwing 1 ball at a time and stopping. And then I eventually did that faster and faster until I could kind of get it going. And then I eventually came to the conclusion that it looks better down here instead of up here. So I took this pattern that I had learned and I just slowly lowered my arms and straightened my arms out until I'm doing it lower. And you can go about learning it that way if you like, whatever works best for you. Okay, so at this point you might be thinking to yourself, alright Steve, that's pretty cool if I want to be a wimp and juggle 3 balls with my eyes closed. What if I want to juggle 5 balls or more with my eyes closed? Well, there is a way to do that. I'm not really good at it yet with 5 balls, but I know how it works, so I'll go ahead and show it to you. I call this the crotch method. Okay, so again, arms straight against your body, and there's very little arm movement in this. It's pretty much all in the wrists, and make sure your hands are more or less by your crotch. Okay, so at this point in this video I have referenced girls' boobs, my butt, and my crotch. This is turning out to be a pretty risque juggling tutorial, alright. But anyway, yeah, so this should probably be pretty easy to figure out. Just make sure that your arms are against your body, and every throw aim for somewhere near your inner elbow so that the ball will hit your arm and roll down right into your hand. And again, this is much easier with Russian style juggling balls. Once you're pretty comfortable with this, it's pretty easy to be able to close your eyes or look away and do it without looking at the pattern. Now, once you're very good at doing this with 3 balls, you can go ahead and try it with 5. I'm not very good at this yet. I'm still working on it. Right now, I mainly just work on doing flashes. But on a good day, I can get it going for a little while without looking. But maybe today won't be a good day. There we go. I think I did a little more than a flash. Anyway, so if you want to learn how to do 5 balls blind, that's probably going to be your best option. I hope this video helped, and until next time, happy juggling!